Hey guys, gonna do a video today. Murphy Firearms Training here. Gonna do a video today just running the Lee Pro 1000. This is a progressive press. Tell you a little bit about it as I get started. I bought this press almost 20 years ago. It's actually the first press I ever bought, and I would highly recommend not buying a progressive press as your first press. But I bought this press at a gun show, and I paid 40 bucks for it, and it came with a set of 45 ACP dies. So I can't complain too much, and just going to kind of show you my setup here. I did buy the cartridge tubes here, so you can load those up with your empty brass, load your primer feeder, load your powder hopper, but it came with the powder measure, it came with the small and large primer holder, everything but the tubes here for 40 bucks, which is a phenomenally good deal. I've had to replace a few parts on it. It was quite worn out when I bought it. The guy had done a lot of loading. So it did give me some problems at first, and I've sorted all those out pretty much. And so I'm gonna get me some bullets here and start loading. So the way the progressive press works, first couple of handle pulls is getting the brass in here cycling, and then after that, every time you pull a handle, a new loaded round comes out. And I suggest everybody start with a single stage because there's so much less complicated. And one day I'll do a video of setting this thing up. It is a lot of trouble to set up, but once you get it set up, you can load a lot of rounds much faster than you can on any other press. And this is not the fastest progressive press. I'm sure that the Hornady ammo plant or the RCBS makes one as well. The progressive presses from the other companies, or heck, even a new Pro 1000 is probably faster than this one. It's a little persnickety, but like I said, it's quite old. I think if you were to see a new one, the primer design is different. Pretty much everything about the way this thing's designed is a little different. So it's definitely an older press. And it's got its quirks, but it's faster than any other press I own, and I'm used to the quirks, so it doesn't bother me. One of the things is the primers don't feed well, so you have to, about every 6 or 7 rounds, give this a shake and get the primers to feed. You know, and so you'll notice that when I'm loading. But anyway, shut up and load. So the way this thing works, when this guy here slides backwards, it picks up a new brass, and then you loaded your first station. You'll size that and deprime it. It'll spin around to your priming station. Okay, so now this is primed. It primes on the downstroke, and then we'll get our powder charge. Okay, so we sized one and we charged one. Okay, that'll spin around. Now it's going to prime that second one, and then we put a bullet here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can even see that. We put a bullet in that third case, and now every time I pull the handle, I'm going to be spitting out a loaded round. So loaded round. And tip, loaded round. Tip, loaded round. And you'll notice I put my hand up here because I like to seat my primers well, and that keeps me from shaking my bench. That's all. Now, I got to give this a shake, get the primers to feed. Again, one of those little idiosyncrasies that you just kind of learn to live with. And these are my own lead bullets that I molded from wheel weights. And so this thing will just spit this ammo out. The one thing about this press that I've never been able to fix is the rounds do not fall free from this little chute over here. And I'll give you a walkthrough of the press after I finish this tube. But I just want to show you how this press works. It's pretty snazzy. 3 stations. It's made to go with the Lee 3 die set. And it's great for making plinking ammo. Would this win a match where you're shooting, you know, a 50-yard bullseye? I don't know. It's accurate enough for me. And I shoot at 25 yards, so I'm happy with it. And that's all that really matters, I guess. But the Pro 1000. Like I said, eventually one day this winter I'll do a video of me setting it up. It is a real pain to set up. I'm not going to lie. It's a real pain to set up. So I really have to do a lot of loading for a particular caliber before I'll change it out. So I load 45 ACP with this. It works great for that. It works pretty well for 9mm. It does not work well for long cartridges like 357 Magnum or even 38 Special because the cartridges will not line up with the dies as well, the longer cartridges. And when that happens, you end up crushing your brass. So it's primarily I use this for semi-auto calibers. Okay, so I just finished a tube. There's no brass in this location. And so I'm going to grab my camera here, and I'm going to give you a quick overview of kind of what's going on now that you've seen it in action. So you've got your 3 stations here, and you'll see when I run this handle, normally this guy would come back and it would grab the next brass in the line, but you can see there's no brass sticking down, okay? And with the handle down, you can see the powder hopper, right, has just charged that brass that's at station 2. So there'll be a powder charge in there. And this one would have sized if there was a brass there. Go all the way down, okay? And I forgot to put a bullet in that one. So you can see powder charge is in there. Can't see the powder charge really well, but it's in there. Turn the flash on for you to see that, I guess. But if I'm not stupid, and I grab a bullet and put in that one, right? So powder charge, and then that seats and crimps, and it falls onto, I was talking about this ramp here, falls onto that ramp there. And I've lubed this with liquid lube, with graphite, with everything I can think of. And the rounds just don't slide free. It doesn't have enough slope. So I just kind of flick them off with my finger. But anyway, there's your 3 stations on the Lee. It does have a cool feature here for the priming. So you see this little piece that moves up and down, that's your primer. Down here at the bottom, it's got this little spring. I don't know if you can even see this on the video. I'm going to come around here where maybe you can see it. But it's right here. It's got a little spring. And it's really cool. If there's no cartridge here, so I'll run the press, no primer feeds. You'll see just the primer arm there. No primer actually feeds. Now, if you put a cartridge in there, when it goes past this little black piece here, you'll hear it click. Oh, I said you'd hear it click. I have to push it this way. You hear it click, and the next primer feeds. And so now you see there's a live primer. Okay? So it only feeds a primer if a cartridge is present. And that's really cool. So if you skip, if you run out of brass, if you skip a space, whatever. So anyway, that's the Pro 1000, and you see I label large pistol primers on there. If I take the lid off my powder measure, you can actually put my load, what I'm using, and so it just, and then that way if I walk away and I don't finish loading the rest of the brass in this tube today, it doesn't matter. I don't need to. And then for this guy, I'm just going to, the one that I forgot to put a bullet for, I'll put him in the 3rd station, stick a bullet in him, he'll be good to go, get him loaded. But that's the Pro 1000. The only other thing you do to keep loading is just rotate this till it clicks in place. And then you'll see, let me just show you this real quick. So when this slides back, it drops off the next brass, and you'd cycle all the way because you'd obviously have other cartridges in here. And this little neat spin on this hex center post is what causes this to cycle. And we're starting all over. This one's in the sizing position. We'll size and deprime, and we'll start all over. So anyway, that's the Pro 1000. One day I'll show you a setup video of that, and you can see all my wonderful components and stuff in the background there. So anyway, fun. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, and like and subscribe. Appreciate your support, and hope to put out some more videos.